Everybody, I got more information for you from our athletic director yesterday. So, kind of what happened over the past 2 weeks or so. The school athletic directors met together with our district athletic director, created a plan. That plan was then submitted to some district administrators, and then that had to get approval from the superintendent, as far as I understand. So things got changed along the way a little bit from what I first told you. So I'm going to update you as best I can with the information that I have right now. Wasn't great news, but it's some news, and so we're going to do our best to get started, get to work, and get ready for the season as best we can with the regulations and guidelines that the district has put in place. So first of all, I need your help. I know it's not what we're used to, a lot of us, but I really need your help following these guidelines. I was told that there will be district personnel on campuses during weight room sessions, during athletic camps, monitoring, making sure that we are following the rules, doing what we're supposed to do. And if we get caught not doing those things, it's a one strike, you're out rule. So we won't get another opportunity. If we aren't doing what we are supposed to do, all of our weight room and all of our camp sessions will be done, and there's a potential that coaches will get fired, according to what I was told. So I really need your help following the things that they're asking us to do. I know that we will occasionally not be perfect at it, but we're going to do our very best, and if you would help me with that, I would really appreciate it. So I sent you an updated schedule. I had to modify things a little bit because of the fact that we have to clean and sanitize more than I realized we were going to have to do. So we need some cushion time between groups of players doing things so that we can have coaches clean things and sanitize things before the next group comes in, and even sometimes while that group is in there, and I'll talk more about that in a second. A couple other things before I get into the schedule and kind of instructions. If you are a new athlete, so you are an incoming freshman or you did not play any sports last school year, you need to be sure that you register through registermyathlete.com. Follow all the instructions on there. There's forms there with doctor information and things like that you have to do before you can participate in anything we are doing. No longer are you incoming freshmen considered 8th graders. Now you are considered incoming freshmen, so the policy is a little bit different. So please make sure that you're registered through Register My Athlete. Also make sure that you have selected football. If you don't select football, I can't see your name on the list, and I can't verify that you are registered. Which leads me to the next thing. If you are a returning athlete but you did not play football, please go and register My Athlete. Switch your registration over to football so that I can see you and make sure that you are cleared. Also, I sent out a waiver. The district is requiring a COVID-19 waiver from everyone in order to participate. So you have to go through there and agree to all the information on there. You're basically saying that you understand there's a risk of getting sick, and that no one in your house is sick, that your kid is not sick, those kinds of things. So that has to be submitted before any participation, weight room or outside. So please, it would be easiest if that was printed out, filled out, and signed before you arrived on Monday. If you can't do that, I will have copies there. You can pick one up, take it outside to your parent, because they're asking that parents do not enter the building. Only athletes are going to come inside. They just are trying to limit the total number of people that are in the building and are around each other at any time. So parents, when you drop your kids off on Monday, if you need to sign the waiver or if you have any questions, just come hang out outside. Somebody will let me know or another coach know that you need us for some reason. We'll come outside and talk with you there. Parents, please do not come inside. I know it's a hassle and it's annoying, but like I said, we just got to do what we got to do here. So waivers are required from every player. Please make sure you have those. Same thing as far as the payment goes. It's still $40. That's not changed from the last time I spoke with you. Please have the money with you. You can do a cash you can do cash. You can do a check written out to Raymond S. Kellis High School. We cannot pay the Booster Club for this. So I know in the past we've done like Venmo through the Booster Club. This needs to be done. We're paying directly to the school account for this. So please do not give the money to the Booster Club or through the Venmo account. All right, so here are the instructions for when you arrive on Monday. So you'll have your schedule. So it's basically the same days and approximately the same time. Some of the times we're moved up a little bit in the weight room and the practice field, like I said, to accommodate the time we need to clean. So check that schedule. The first group will start at 3:45. So what I'd like you to do is get there about 10 minutes before your scheduled start time. The glass doors to the north of the locker room will be where you enter the building. So come in through those glass doors. Please do your best to stay 6 feet apart from everybody. I would like you to come a little bit early because outside it's hot. Come inside, cool off. We have to do a temperature check on everybody every day. Every single time that you show up, I have to do, or one of the coaches has to do a temperature check. So if you've just walked half a mile from your house in the sun and you get there and I take your temperature right away, it might be elevated. So get there a few minutes early, come inside, stand in the hallway, cool off for a few minutes. Coaches will start doing temperature checks. So we have to take your temperature with a non-contact forehead thermometer, and then we record that every single day that you show up to the weight room. If you have a 100-degree temperature or higher, you have to leave. You may not return to any activities until you bring back a negative COVID test. So if you have a 100-degree or more temperature, when we take that temperature reading at the school, the only way you will be allowed to return to activity is with a negative COVID test. So that's why I'd like you to get there a few minutes early so that you can cool off and relax for a second before we take your temperature. Also, when you come in, before you go in the weight room, so you come in that hallway through the glass doors between the water room and the training room, head towards the practice gym. That's where the coaches will be set up. We'll be set up there to take your temperature and to log that. Hang a right, and there's some, down the hallway there are restrooms. The restrooms are going to be open in that by the practice gym. Before you go into the weight room, you have to wash your hands. So you come in, and you can go straight to the bathroom and wash your hands first, then get your temperature taken. But when you arrive, you need to wash your hands before you go into the weight room. Also, before you go in there, you're going to show a coach that you have water. Remember, I told you we are not going to be providing any water. The water fountains are all closed. They're not going to be accessible. So you need to bring your own water. Please do that. Please make sure you have your own water. Okay, so I think that's it. Just to recap, register my athlete for new athletes. Switch your sport if you're a returning athlete but didn't play football last season. Everybody has to have a waiver, $40 payment. Come in through the glass doors. Try to be there about 10 minutes early so you can cool off. We'll try to have the doors open at 3:30 for that first group. Wash your hands, temperature check. Anything 100 or higher, we have to send you away, and the only way to return is with a negative COVID test, and make sure you have your water. When you get into the weight room, we will be limiting it to a total of 20 athletes at a time. We have 10 stations. The district has said that we can have 2 kids per station in the weight room, but you're not actually going to be working together on the weight room at least for the month of June and the very beginning of July. So the way I'm going to set up our workouts is that one player is going to be on the rack using the bar. One player is going to be using the bench with dumbbells. So you'll get in there. If you're partner B, who's going to start on the bench, you'll pull the bench off of the station if it's already on there. There will be two workouts basically. There'll be a rack workout, then there'll be a bench workout. The bench workout will use the dumbbells. The rack workout will use the barbell. You'll complete those exercises, each of you separately. The guy that's working on the bench is going to be paying attention to the guy on the rack, because if there's a situation where he needs a spotter, you will have to help him. Okay. The idea is that you will not be right next to him until he needs your help. And most of you should know how to squat safely and get out of it without a spotter. If you have taken my class, you should know how to do that. Dive into a push-up position with the safety racks in place, and really a spotter is not necessary, and we can get out of there safely. Once each of you are done with your 2 separate workouts, the rack guy's done and the bench guy's done, You'll call a coach over. The coach will come over with his bucket and his rag, his sanitizer. He will clean everything that you touched. If you used something, you don't put it back. You take it off of the bar or whatever. If you need to change weights, you take the weight off the bar and you just leave it out. That way we know what needs to be cleaned and what doesn't. We don't want to clean everything every time. Only what needs to be cleaned, only what was touched. So we'll clean the bar, we'll clean any weights that you use, we'll clean any dumbbells that you use, we'll clean the bench. We'll let that sit for about 5 minutes. Then you guys will switch. So the guy that was on the bench will go on the rack, do the same exercises, and then the guy that was on the rack will go to the bench and finish the workout. Same thing when you're done. When you've completely finished the workout, you'll let the coach know, "Coach, I'm done," and he'll do the same thing. He'll clean everything up. He'll have gloves on, so he'll put all the stuff back so that it's ready for the next group to come in. And that's it. So that's kind of how that will work. And then you will leave the building out the doors that go into the breezeway, so that way you're not crossing paths with the guys that are coming into the weight room, because the next group will be coming in right after that. So we only have about 50 minutes in the weight room per group, and we're trying to squeeze a full week of working out into 2 days. We're not going to do as much volume as we would do in a full week, but we're trying to get as much as possible done in the amount of time that we have. So you need to work quickly. Shouldn't take extremely long breaks. You shouldn't be talking about stuff. You should just be working. So get in there, get your work done, get out so we can get everything clean. We can get the next group in. We're trying to maximize the time we have in there and get as many guys in there and get as much work done as possible. If you are that group that comes on Mondays and Wednesdays, sophomores through seniors whose last names are A through F, you're going to be going straight from the weight room to the practice field. Between those two places, you must wash your hands again. So you're going to finish your lift, you're going to go to the restrooms, you're going to wash your hands. You do not need to get your temperature taken again. It's already been taken for the day. You only have to get that done once a day. Then you will go outside, get your cleats on, go straight to your position coach. So that's the only group that has to do that, where they go straight from the weight room to the practice field. Got to have hand washing happen between those two locations. If you are just showing up for the practice field, so you don't have a weight room session that day, it's the same procedure. Come inside, get your temperature checked, wash your hands, and then you will go back outside to your position coach right away. We can't have groups of guys close hanging out together. That's what those district personnel people are going to be looking for. Oh, Kellis has 20 kids all in a big group hanging out together. That's the kind of stuff that's not allowed. We can only have 10 at a time. If it gets to a point where we have too many guys in one group, we'll adjust your schedule. So we might say, even though your last name starts with M, I'm going to have you come in the second group just to balance things out. So we'll just kind of play that by ear and figure out how that's going to work best. So again, if you're coming just for the practice field to do the outside work, you still have to get your temperature taken. You still have to wash your hands. You still have to get your temperature recorded and logged by the coach. Please don't be late. If you are late, if you show up when you're supposed to be on the field, you're going to miss half of your period because you're going to have to spend part of that time washing your hands, getting your temperature taken. So please be there about 10 minutes early so that we can get all that stuff done. Again, I think I already said this, the toilets will be available, locker room will not be available, water will not be available. Make sure you have all that stuff. All of this lasts until July 2nd, which I put on the schedule there. After July 2nd, I will send out a new schedule with a new plan based on how things are going. At that point, we'll be able to do more group stuff and things like that. And so I'll have more information later on in the month about that. June 22nd, when we go outside, we can start doing the partner drills like I talked about, throwing the football back and forth to each other, blocking drills, things like that. Still only 2 kids at a time, though, that kind of thing. A lot of information. Sorry for the length of the video, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on and what we need to do and how we need to do it. And I really need your help with this. I can't, and me and the coaches that are going to be there, we can't do all this on our own. We need your cooperation and your help with that. So I appreciate that and thank you for that in advance. If you have any questions about any of the information that I gave you, please email me. I've seen a few people try to send me messages on Remind. I don't check that for questions, so if you have a question, please email me, and I'll do my best to clarify that information for you. Thanks, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Monday or Tuesday, depending on when you're supposed to be there. And that's all. Have a good rest of your day.